We had a very exciting week of fantasy football, and for the first time all season, I actually won every single game this week. For those of you who don't know, I have three teams in three different leagues. One of them I only won by 6 points, another by about 15, and another by 60. It's a combination of my opponent's players underperforming and me taking a risk on some underrated players like Christian Ponder and Mike Williams. Anyways, on to the show. Jeremy Maclin, Antonio Gates, and Jason Witten all look like they're finally healthy and should be safe starts for the rest of the season. Of course, Maclin and Gates out on byes this week, but Witten, he has a great matchup against a pretty weak Carolina defense, so definitely look for him going forward. AJ Green still proving he's the best receiver in the league, adding to an already great season with a fantastic 26-point performance this week. Jordy Nelson was the only wide receiver with more points than him. RG3 had 36 points and was second only to Aaron Rodgers, who threw 6 touchdowns and finished with just under 40 points. And Mike Williams, who I deemed the sleeper pick of the year, he only had 4 catches, but he totaled 113 yards, and he found the end zone, finishing with 17 points on the game. He's actually been playing pretty decent football this year. And if you look at his stats for the season, he hasn't really been up and down. I don't want to say he's played consistently well, but he has not played consistently bad. A quick look at his numbers will reveal that week 1, 7 points. Week 2, 12 points. Week 3, 3 points. But week 4, 11 and a half points. Week 6, he had 17 points. He's doing well. Most games he will either find, if he doesn't get over 100 points, he'll find the end zone. And depending on the league format, he is a good start. Depending on your situation, if you need depth, he's a good matchup-based substitute, especially next week going against New Orleans. There are a lot of people on bye week. I've got Jeremy Maclin going on bye week, and Mike Williams, I'm going to start him again this week. I only started him last week because Marquise Colston was on bye. He does make a good matchup-based substitute, and he's a great player to use, when you have byes or when you have unhealthy players. And also, Dalton and Christian Ponder both had over 20 points this week. Do you remember me telling you to pick them up? Yeah, Dalton, he's always got a lot of upside as long as he's throwing to a guy like AJ Green. And Christian Ponder, he's got a big arm. Most defenses are concentrating on stopping Adrian Peterson. Not to mention he can also do some things with his legs. And he's got some explosive playmakers in Harvin to throw to. So he's a good start. A little risky. I only started him this week because Drew Brees had a bye, but still. No, I'm probably gonna keep Christian on my bench at least for a little while, though. But Drew Brees is pretty much a must start every single week. He's had a touchdown in 48 consecutive games. I don't know if you realize that. And I was wrong about LaRod Stephens-Howling. It looks like he'll be stuck in a timeshare, and he doesn't seem to have much value, even in flex leagues. It doesn't seem like he's going to get too many touches, and it's not likely he'll do much with it. Just based on what you've seen so far, based on what I've seen, based on what happened last week. But so look elsewhere for some different halfbacks. Sean Green had a career-high 161 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. He's still not a must-start, though. I think I would wait till he does that 2 or 3 weeks in a row before I start considering him a must-start player. This is the best game he's had all season. He's been fairly inconsistent throughout his career. But it does show you he does have that talent. There's a reason that they drafted him. And then there are some major injuries happening in fantasy news. First of all, that Baltimore defense. They've been playing decently well. Luckily, they no longer calculate yardage when it comes to fantasy points and defense. But and the Ravens, they've allowed over 200 straight yards in 2 weeks in a row. Over 200 rushing yards 2 weeks in a row. And but they've done a great job most of the time stopping teams from scoring and creating turnovers. However, Terrell Suggs has yet to play this year, and now, Ray Lewis and Ladarius Webb are both out for the season, and that will affect this team and how well they're able to play. They've got a lot of tough matchups ahead. They still got to play the Steelers twice. They've got to play the Bengals again, this time without Webb covering Green. I mean, this is a defense that's on the decline right now, thanks to some very major injuries. Haloti Ngata, the big man in the middle, has a torn MCL. He's not expected to miss any time. He says he's going to play through it. But if he's not playing at 100%, you will definitely feel the effects. Teams will continue to run the ball at them. And you have LaShawn McCoy, who got hurt, but he has a bye next week, and you're going to have to replace him anyways. He should be fine coming out of the bye week, though. In Dallas, DeMarco Murray and Felix Jones both ran for over 90 yards each against the Ravens. DeMarco Murray has a foot injury and has already been ruled out of Week 7. He's being listed as day-to-day. And when he's healthy, DeMarco Murray is a must-start. But with him out of the lineup, Felix Jones becomes a must-start player. And even when Murray returns, it looks like the Cowboys plan to stay dedicated to the run, and Felix could still have some upside. And for the St. Louis Rams, Steven Jackson had 52 rushing yards and 28 receiving yards, while Darrell Richardson had 76 rushing yards and 23 receiving yards. There is a very likely chance we're going to start seeing a timeshare in St. Louis. And, Richardson could still have some upside, and Steven Jackson, he's the one thing you could always count on with Steven Jackson throughout the years is that he got the bulk of the work in the backfield. Now it's looking like they might start doing some even splits. Richardson has more explosiveness. Jackson, though, he is a bigger body and will probably still be the red zone guy. So we'll see how that develops. I don't know if they're going to turn into a tandem like what the Bills have with Spiller and Jackson, but there is potential there for both of these players. And Phillip Rivers had 4 interceptions and lost 2 fumbles. And this definitely has a few Rivers owners scared. I say a few because after last year, a lot of Rivers faithfuls started shifting away. He's not owned as much as he was a season ago. And those who do own him don't really start him that much anymore. So four interceptions, two fumbles. That has to worry you. But and the last but not least, Dez Bryant had a huge game, a career high 13 receptions. Finished the game with 95 yards and a touchdown, giving him a great stat line, despite the fact that he had 3 drops. And one of those drops came in the end zone when they were attempting a 2-point conversion. It went right through his hands. So he does have plenty of upside, still struggles with consistency issues, though. You kind of expect better out of a third-year player. There are still so many points where he looks like a rookie. But he does still have that explosiveness. You never know when he's going to break a big game. So it's still a good idea to have him on the roster And the last thing I'll leave you with is that the Falcons, the Broncos, Chiefs, Dolphins, Eagles, and Chargers are all on their bye weeks. That means if you have Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Peyton Manning, Demaryius Thomas, Jamal Charles, Michael Vick, LaShawn McCoy, Jeremy Maclin, Antonio Gates, or Phillip Rivers, you're going to have to start looking for other options. Good luck next week. Congratulations to me. I moved up in the standings. I'm, at this moment in time, in the playoffs in every single league. So, I look forward to next week.